Okay, I'm gonna try to be kind of quiet because my husband is putting my son to sleep in the other room back there. So, uh, just a quick, also I just realized I took off my wedding ring. And so now I don't have it in the video. I like to have my rings on, but I take them off at night sometimes because in the summer my skin gets really dry and I probably don't drink as much water as I should, so then my rings get really tight on me, but maybe I should just be healthier. Anyway, so this is what I received. If you saw my last video, which was my chatty channel introduction, this was what I got in there. And sorry, I feel like I'm being so quiet, but I don't want to disturb them because the walls aren't very thick in our house, and like I said, he's just in the next room over. But anyway, this was the package that I got while I was filming that video, and I was so excited to get it. So this is from a company called Parousia Press. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. I suppose it could be Parousia, but I think it's Parousia Press. Parousia, I believe, is a Greek word. It's another term for the second coming of Christ. But anyway, so Parousia Press is a relatively new Orthodox Christian company. It's two women, and their names are escaping me right now, but it's two women who live in Oklahoma, and they are Orthodox, obviously. And they, it would have been 3 years ago, I believe, because their very first one they did was for the 2019-2022 homeschool year, August through July, and it was a PDF, and I believe it was free. And they were also going to come out with a January through, and their homeschool planner was called Mustard Seed. And then they were going to also come out with a year planner, January through December, called the Little Church Planner. Because in Orthodoxy, there's a saying from St. John Chrysostom that I have somewhere. Oh, it's it's right here. For indeed, a house is a little church. And I made this on Canva, just this little card that's in this pouch, and house and a little family, because I thought, that's our family is husband and wife and a little boy, and then the church and a little heart. And so I just made that because I love that quote, and that's the inspiration for their Little Church Planner. And mustard seed obviously comes from the Bible verse that, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed. Anyway, I'm getting loud. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be quiet. Anyway, so when that came out, I had heard about it, I believe, through Instagram, because I had Instagram back then, and I got the free PDF, and I was hoping that they would come out with a PDF version of the Little Church Planner, because my thought was, I'll use both planners and I'll go back to using the Happy Planner. A couple videos back, I kind of poorly tried to explain how I used to use the Happy Planner, but it just became too consumer-ish for me. Just too much stuff, too many accessories. I just didn't want it. I wanted more simplicity. So anyway, the layout also of the Little Church Planner didn't particularly work for me, and the Homeschool Planner wasn't working for me either in that season of my life. So I loved the idea of having an Orthodox planner. I love the idea of not only supporting a small Orthodox business, but I also loved the idea of a planner that was specific to Eastern Orthodoxy, that had the daily readings of the church, the feast and the fast days of the church, that kind of thing. And of course the saints and all of that. I really wanted a planner like that, that I didn't have to do myself. However, like I said, the layout just wasn't working for me. So then the next year, the 2020 through 2021 homeschool planner, and of course then the 2020 Little Church Planner, I did not get either of those because I just didn't have a need for them. I loved the idea of them, but I didn't know how it was going to work out for me. So then this year, but I still follow the company and I get their emails because they give free printables sometimes that I like and all that. And again, I just like their company. So anyway, this time around though, I mentioned in a previous video too that I am starting a new job as a guide at a Montessori style school. And I'm also going to be still, in my opinion, keeping the role of homemaker, because I believe that that is still the woman's role, even if she works outside of the home, to make her home a haven. And so when I saw this planner, I knew that this was going to be what I used for my first year back at work, and also as a homemaker, and you'll see why when I do a flip through of it. So I'm so excited, and it is a homeschool planner, and I am not homeschooling. So I'm gonna explain how I plan on using this for my home, church, life, work planner, my everything planner, because that's another thing. I need compartmentalization, but I don't like to have multiple books. I like to have one planner with different sections, or, you know, that's why I like the traveler's notebook and things like that. So this planner was going to work perfectly for me. I believe it will. So let me do the quick flip through, and I won't flip through the whole thing because it is a pretty thick planner. But I'm super stoked. So I'll do the quick flip through. So this is the cover. They had 2 covers to choose from this year. They also had 2 different calendars to choose from. So in Orthodoxy, there's the old calendar and the new calendar. So for example, on the old calendar, Orthodox Christians who are still on the old calendar tend to be a lot of Russian Orthodox and some Ethiopia or Oriental Orthodox, which a lot of Ethiopian Eritrean Orthodox churches are on that calendar. Anyway, that calendar, for example, would have Christmas Day on January, I believe it's January 6th or 7th, is when the old calendar Christmas is, whereas the new calendar Christmas is, of course, as we know in the West, December 25th. So I got the new calendar because that's the calendar we go off of. In my parish, and just in our life in general. That's kind of a tricky thing sometimes because Orthodoxy is such an Eastern religion, but we live in the West. So that's been an interesting, I'll make a video about that one day, kind of going from a Western mindset to trying to have more of an Eastern one. Anyway, so they also had 2 covers. One had more of like a mint green and like a pink color. I think they looked pretty similar in terms of the actual design, but I got this one. I think this one was called the green cover because it's kind of a very faint mint color, but I like the navy and the yellow, or navy and the mustard. Anyway, Mustard Seed Orthodox Homeschool Planner 2021 through 2022. Let's get into it. So let me see. So the first page, first of all, they've got a key because in the Orthodox church there's like fasting and stuff, and so they've got a key for different fasting, like the little X with the, I don't know if you can even see that, there's a little X, like spoon and fork right there. That's probably not very clear, but anyway, that's a full fasting day. Anyway, so it gives you the whole key for that, and then it's also got a quote from Charlotte Mason in there. If you're not familiar, Charlotte Mason is I believe she was in the late 1800s, an educator, and there's a big homeschool following for her methods. So this first page is just plans and priorities. There's not really a name page, I don't think. If you wanted to write your name here, you can, and I probably will. But so plans and priorities, and I'm sorry too, it's a strange time of day. It's probably very shadowy. I didn't even realize that, but that's okay. Also, I think you can see the little line from my... It's just a poor time of day to film this, but that's okay. Plans and priorities. So we've got a box for spiritual, home, personal, habits, schedule, and breaks, morning time. And keep in mind, again, as I'm going through this, it is originally designed to be a homeschool planner. I will probably use this the same, or the way that it's supposed to be. A monthly notes section. Also, real quick, everything is black and white, and I love that because I like to decorate my planner, and I love that I can... I hate when a planner is... That was another issue I had with their yearly little church planner, January through December. It was all colored, and it was... like, I just really struggle if it's like winter time, but there's florals on it that are clearly like not winter colors. I really struggle with that. I don't mind seasonal florals, but when it's just florals the whole year and they're all the same color palette, I can't do that. I need a little bit more neutral so that I can decorate it myself. So I love that this planner is just black and white and very blank. So again, I'm so sorry for the lighting. So hopefully you can see through this. This is just a monthly notes, year at a glance. It goes from August 2021 to July 2022 down here. So that's nice. And all of the pages have this kind of floral image, but you can leave it blank, or you can even color it in with like colored pencils if you wanted. That's what I'll probably do on some of the pages to make it seasonal. So here's a year at a glance with all the dates laid out. And the shadow area are our major fasting seasons. And we also fast, for the most part, with a few exceptions, we fast every Wednesday and Friday as well. So those are not shaded in here. These are just the major fasting days. It would have been nice to have the Wednesdays and Fridays also shaded in, because then you could see that we really do, as Orthodox Christians, fast, basically eat a mostly vegan diet for pretty much half the year. So I have a gray mild liner, and I will probably go ahead and highlight those in, just because I think that'd be kind of cool to see. Anyway, so year at a glance. Again, I'm so sorry for the shadow, but I just really wanted to flip through this. So this is, again, because it's for homeschool, this is an individual student planner. I think there's enough of these for 6 kids. Now here is because my son will be attending the Montessori school, I figured I would take out these ones, and so I could have him, you know, goals and stuff for him on this page, and then the attendance and grades over here. We don't do grades at our Montessori school. We do, that's probably not even in frame very well. We don't do grades at our Montessori school. We do badges. Anyway, I'll still probably use this for something. And so my thought was I was going to rip this out because I don't need it, and I don't need it, but I had a thought, because we have so many little sessions in our school, and it's a year-round school. I could use each of these spreads for my son's goals, so I can also help keep track of what he's doing. So I might actually just leave them in and use them. We'll see. But anyway, if you were going to use this as a homeschool planner, it's got, you know, individual student planner, their extracurricular stuff, goals and notes, what subjects they're going to be learning, what grade they are in, and then an attendance tracker. So it's very cool, but so I'm going to probably repurpose this a little bit, but also use it pretty similarly. Okay, so there's 6 of those, because you have space in this for up to 6 kids if you were going to homeschool. Curriculum shopping planner, I'll probably repurpose this. Reading list and notes, I will actually probably use this because my school has a reading list, a recommended reading list for parents and the employees. So I'll probably use this for that. Okay, so this is where we start to get into some Orthodox stuff. We've got, so in the Orthodox Church, there's 12 major feasts throughout the church year. The church year technically begins September 1st, the liturgical year, but this one is in August because this calendar starts in August. So there's 12 major feasts, and then Pascha, which in the West is Easter, and our Easter Pascha usually falls on a different day than Western Easter, but anyway, so there's technically 12 great feasts, and then the Feast of Feasts, which is Pascha. So this is designed to do a study, or how you're going to, you know, plan or celebrate the great feasts of the Orthodox Church. So we've got the Transfiguration, which, if you're familiar with Christianity, the Transfiguration is when Jesus is the Transfiguration when Jesus. Oh gosh, I'm going to mess it up. I'm pretty sure Mount Tabor is what it is. But anyway, so Transfiguration, Dormition. This is the Dormition, or the repose, or the passing away of falling asleep is what we call it in the Orthodox Church. But the Dormition is for the Theotokos, Mary, when she it's the celebration, the feast of her death. Then we go into the Church New Year, which is not technically a major feast of the Church, but it is the New Year for the liturgical cycle, and that's September 1st. Nativity of the Theotokos, so that's the birth of Mary. The elevation of the cross. The entry of the Theotokos into the temple when she was a young child. The Nativity of our Lord, Christmas. Theophany, the baptism of Christ, that's January 6th every year. The festal study of the meeting of our Lord in the temple. So that is with when Saint Simeon holds the infant or Christ. I think he might have been a toddler in that part. I don't know, guys. I'm forgetting. But anyway, so yeah, meeting of our Lord in the temple. So when Mary and Joseph present him in the temple, festal study of the Annunciation, that is the day or the feast that celebrates when Mary, when the angel Gabriel announced to Mary that she would, conceive of the Holy Spirit. Palm Sunday is another one. Holy Pascha, which is again our Easter in the Orthodox Church. Pascha is actually the word that Easter comes from, and it's Passover is what it means. Ascension, when Christ ascended into heaven. That's 40 days after Pascha. Pentecost is, of course, when the Holy Spirit came to dwell in the hearts of man. And then we've got, so those are the major feasts with the addition of Pascha, and which is the Feast of Feasts, and the Church New Year, and then a festal study. And I didn't even really show on each of these, if you're Orthodox and interested in this planner, it's got the date of the feast, and I'm so sorry if this doesn't look very good on the camera. It's got the date of the feast, notes and resources. So like for Christmas, like consider a family almsgiving project to prepare for the feast. Books you can read and stories, Orthodox children's books and such. A reminder that you can go to Parousia Press's website for a lot of resources. Readings that are specific to the day of the feast. We always have a reading from the epistle or from an epistle and from a gospel. And then activities and plans that you have, maybe family traditions. I plan on using this not only for our own family catechism at home, teaching my son, but also I am a Sunday school teacher for littles, and so it would also be great for me to use this for both home and church. So that's what I plan on using these pages for. And then they've got some blank ones, an additional festal study for maybe one of the lesser feasts that your family wants to do. For example, I think this next month is, I think it's in August, is like the beheading of John the Baptist is a lesser feast, but it's also a very important one. So you could do something like that if you wanted to. And then a saint study, if there's a specific saint, maybe your parish's patron saint or your name's day. In the Orthodox Church, we each take on a saint's name. So if, for my son if we wanted to do a study on his saint, we could do that. So that's very cool. And then you get into the monthly, and I'm going to kind of move right along because a lot of this was, I just wanted to get to really this part so I can kind of show you, and I'm not going to flip through all of this obviously, but to just kind of show you how it's Orthodox and how I'm going to be using a homeschool planner even though I'm not homeschooling. So then you get to the monthlies. You've obviously got the dates. I don't know how well this camera's picking up, and like I said, it's a horrible time of day to be filming. It's almost 9 o'clock in the summer, so my lighting's really bad. But anyway, you've got obviously the little fasting icons there. There's one of the major feasts, so it lists out the feasts, and then it lists out certain bigger days in the church. So like the beheading of the prophet, forerunner, and Baptist John is right there on the 29th of August. And then over here you've got just little notes about the feasts, little things about different Orthodox traditions within the different jurisdictions and such. So really useful for an Orthodox home. And just for an Orthodox family and living an Orthodox life in general, living a life in rhythm with the church. And that's what I want to get better at doing, especially now that I'm going to be working outside of the home. I really want to have make more of an effort and be more intentional about living within the rhythm of the church year, both inside the home and outside the home. And so I think this will be a great resource for me, going back to work. Okay, so then the month has a kind of like a dashboard for each month right here. You've got here, gosh, this lighting's so bad, guys. Here you've got the month, obviously. It's got what matters most section for spiritual, school, home, health, and personal. So you can write little goals or whatever you have in those sections. It'd be really, I'm going to keep these, but it'd be really easy to white them out and do something else there. And then it's got daily rhythm for mama and kids, because keep in mind it was for homeschool originally, and I'll probably stick with this. So you've got a morning, an afternoon, and an evening section for each, for mama and for the kids. And then you've got 2 habits down here, habit trackers. On the next page, you've got 2 additional habit trackers down here at the bottom. And space, of course, to write which habit it is that you're tracking. You've got a section for morning time, again, for homeschool, a daily, every day that you would do, so like Bible reading, the saints, whatever. And then loops, so like maybe on Mondays you do geography, Tuesday, however you would do it as a homeschool family. I will probably repurpose this for our family catechism, is my plan, because we want to do like a family catechism, just because I'm not homeschooling now. So that's religious education is really important to us. So anyway, themes and trips, bookshelf, and then a note section, and then intercessions right here. So prayers for the month, maybe things if a friend or family member's having a surgery or something, you could make a note of those things that need to be prayed for. Okay, so then that's the end of the monthly, and then you get into the weekly, and this is why I think this planner is going to be perfect for me. And then I'm almost done here because I think my son's almost asleep. But so this week, each week has 2 2-page spreads, and that sounds like a lot at first, but it's going to be incredible for me. So the first week, first of all, it's a Sunday start, which is very important to me. Each day has in the bolds, so you've got the dates, obviously. Then this bold section right here is going to be the, well, I guess they're not all bold, but you're going to have anything going on in the liturgical calendar on that day. In the Orthodox Church, there is something every day. Now, we're not always consciously, celebrating those things, but it's something that I want to be better about noting. So every day there's a saint's feast day. Every day there's something going on in the church. There's never a day where something is not commemorated. And so it gives you basically and there's even more than the ones they list, but these are just maybe more of the major or more well-known saints or days or whatever. So these are going to be the saints or anything happening in the Orthodox Church year on that particular day. Then you're going to come down here and you've got the readings for this day. A couple different jurisdictions might occasionally have a different reading. It just depends. For the most part, they're pretty much the same across the jurisdictions. This calendar, I know, I actually go to an Antiochian Orthodox church, which is like Syrian Orthodox. More of the Middle Eastern Orthodox churches. But they go ahead and use, the ladies who run this business go to what's called an OCA Orthodox, which is OCA Orthodox Christian, Orthodox Christians of America, I believe. Orthodox Church of America. And it is basically a Russian Orthodox church in America. So they use the OCA ones, which are pretty close to the Antiochian, and I'm just going to go ahead and follow the ones in here, even though I don't go to an OCA church, because they're probably almost all of them are the exact same. There might be a couple variations throughout the year, but for the most part, they're going to match up pretty well. Anyway, so it's got the daily Bible readings, again, an epistle and a gospel, except for during Lent, then it's 3 Old Testament readings every day. Prayer, a little check mark for morning, noon, and night on every day. Then you've got your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then a nice checklist with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots, it looks like. Yep, 9 check marks, and then a little section down here for what matters most, and you could write, maybe something in tandem with these ones, or whatever you wanted to do there. So that's the whole week is laid out like this. So and then I'm sorry, you've got notes over here, just a blank section for notes, and then a quote. And I kind of flipped through. Most of them are Orthodox related, whether it's from a hymn or a saint or something like that. But there are a few homeschool related ones, like I saw a Charlotte Mason quote in one of them, and so it's just educational but mostly spiritual. Anyway, so this spread is going to be my home church life spread. This is where I'm going to write down, obviously, meal planning. This is where I'm going to do chores or appointments that are going on that week, church services, all of that. This is just home life, church, everything. The next spread is what would be the homeschool spread. So for a homeschool family, this would kind of be exactly what I'm going to use it for. You know, life, church, home. And then the next spread would be the homeschool spread. But because I'm working at a school, even though it's a different kind of school, I'm going to use it for work. So this is going to be my work planner. Each week we'll have the 2 spreads. To me, this, I could cry. I am just obsessed with this, and I really hope it works out for the company and they keep making this, because I am obsessed. It is so perfect to me. It's just everything I've ever wanted in a planner. It's fabulous. Anyway, so what you've got here is subjects. You could use them as subjects. You could use them for kids, up to 6 kids if you were homeschooling. You've got a little space here to write the school week number, and then you've got Monday through Friday, and then you've got 6 lines with check marks on each, you know, in each row column. And the way I'm going to use this for work, because there's not necessarily as much curriculum planning at this school that I'm going to be working at as there is at a traditional public or private school. So what I'm going to do is, because my son's going to be in school, I'm going to write his name here, and this row will be his section. So if it's anything that he has to have, you know, that he's got going on that week for he's going to be in a different classroom than I'm teaching the older elementary kids and he's in the younger. But if there's anything going on that I need to be aware of for him, I can put his stuff there, because obviously he's my first priority at the end of the day. Then I will designate these boxes for other things relating to my school. Maybe I'll do, you know, students, and I'll put, you know, if there's a birthday or whatever, you know, I'll do that. If there's the things that I have to plan for, I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to label these, but I'll worry about that later. But anyway, that's kind of the plan for this. And so this is where I'm just obsessed, because this will cover everything I need. It's not too big, because that's the thing too. When I try to do like a happy planner or a traveler's notebook, there's just so much involved, and this is just so perfect. I could cry. When I saw this, I just knew, like, this is what I'm getting. It's gonna be perfect, and I already am just loving it. And then there's a big note column over here that's just blank, so you could decorate it, you could write notes for the week. It's just fabulous. I'm obsessed. Okay, so then it's gonna, and I'm pretty much done, so then it's gonna go through the month, and then you're gonna get to your next month after that. So it's just gonna be every week has got 2 spreads to it. I love it. Then it's gonna start all over every month. And then that's pretty much it. The only things that you're gonna notice in a planner like this is in November, because I already flipped through this. So in November, this is the month of November, you've got November, you know, 7th through the 13th. First, so that's your home week. Then you've got your school week, and then you're going to turn, and you notice that was mid-November, so this isn't the end of November. You'll turn this page, and there looks like another monthly calendar. It is a monthly calendar, but not a monthly in the sense of one specific month. This is the Nativity Fast. So the Nativity Fast starts November 15th. So this week ends on the 13th. And so then you've got the 14th on a Sunday, 15th is when the fast begins. So this takes you, the bold numbers are the entirety of the Nativity Fast, which starts November 15th and brings us to Christmas Eve. So then you've got the whole calendar here, so you can just kind of see at a glance. You know, you could use this for meal planning for that week because it's obvious, or for this season because it's a big fasting season. You could also use it for church services. There's usually more church services during a fasting season. You could use it just to kind of have an idea of when the fast is. But I love, you could use it for home education, you know. For us, again, catechism is really important, especially now that I'm going to be working outside the home and we won't be at a religious school. So this is really important to me, and for various reasons. So I'm not entirely sure how I'll use it yet, but I'm very excited it's in here. And then it's got little, you know, tips about the Christmas season from an Orthodox standpoint, things like that. And this is our standard Orthodox nativity greeting, Christ is born, and then someone responds, glorify him. So I'm loving that. And then the other one, and then, and then it flips right back into the next week of November, November 14th. So that might throw a couple people off if they're not familiar with the Orthodox faith, but that's what that is for. And then you'll notice that again in, I think it's April for, might be March. Oh yeah, right here. So same thing in March, no, February, you've got, well, March, you've got the week, and then it goes to blank, or, you know, work schedule. Then you've got Great Lent. So this is the same thing as the Nativity one, but for Lent. And then it goes right back into that next March month. So those are the only differences there. Oh, and then here, somewhere, Pascha is going to be the end of April next year. So let me show you real quick for our Holy Week. This is Holy Week. So right here, yeah. So this is the week, the last one of a week of April, the work week of April, and then you've got your Holy Week and Pascha planner. So it's got space. This is the week. So you could, again, there's lots of church services there's especially a lot of church services during Holy Week. So, you know, you could plan out church, you could plan out meals, you could plan out lessons for, you know, catechism or whatever. You've got, and for Pascha almsgiving, to-do list, feast and basket, which would be for like, a Pascha basket. I could talk about that in another video. And then a shopping list, because you're going to want to go buy your meat and dairy that you haven't had for 40 days. So anyway, this is a planner. So this is another kind of in the middle of the month, and then it starts back with the next week leading up to Pascha. So this is the planner. It goes all the way through July of 2022. And then at the back, you've got, I think you've got these notes, take a note page spreads. They're just blank. You do whatever you want here. I haven't officially decided what I'll do with them. I think you've got 1, 2, 3 spreads of that. So 6 note pages, but 3 spreads. So those are great. And then at the very back, it's the new calendar fasting. So again, this is just a quick list of all of the major fasts and such, and just things going on. So you can kind of keep track. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is for fasting. So these are the major fasts of the year, not the feasts, the fasts. So, and it makes a note right there, Wednesdays and Fridays throughout the year are observed as fasting days, except when they fall during a fast-free period. So this is, and then the back cover, oh, there's an extra blank page for something. You could take notes or whatever. And then the back matches the front. So this is that going there? There we go. And then you've got the little Parousia Press company logo there, and their website. So that was my flip through of the Parousia Press Mustard Seed Orthodox Homeschool Planner for 2021 through 2022 that I will not be using as a homeschool planner, but I'm super excited to use it. And real quick, and then I'm done, I made this, and I'm probably going to actually talk about this in another video. So actually, because this one's already long, I'll kind of do a part 2 of this video, because this was more the flip through, and then I'll do like a setup video for it, and then I'll explain what this is. So never mind that. Forget about that. Part 2 will come. I'll probably do that one tomorrow when I have better lighting. So this was the flip through video, and stay tuned for the setup video. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.